Roots of Civil War. Part 1, The Roots of Division, Causes of the Civil War. The American Civil War, fought between 1861 and 1865, was one of the most defining conflicts in United States history. To understand why the war broke out, it is necessary to go back several decades before the first shots were fired at Fort Sumter. The roots of division were planted in the foundation of the nation itself, when the ideals of liberty and democracy clashed with the institution of slavery. From the beginning of the Republic, the United States had been divided between the North and the South, two regions with very different economies and social systems. The North was increasingly industrialized, with factories, railroads, and a growing urban population. Immigration fueled its labor force, and many Northerners believed in free labor, where men could work, earn wages, and rise in society. The South, on the other hand, remained primarily agricultural, dominated by plantations that produced cotton, tobacco, and rice. This economy relied heavily on enslaved African Americans, and slavery became not just an economic system, but also a way of life deeply entrenched in Southern society. As the nation expanded westward, the question of whether new territories would allow slavery became the most controversial political issue of the 19th century. The Missouri Compromise of 1820 tried to maintain balance by admitting Missouri as a slave state and Maine as a free state, while banning slavery north of a certain line. Later, the Compromise of 1850 and the Kansas-Nebraska Act of 1854 reignited the debates, leading to violent clashes in what became known as Bleeding Kansas, where pro-slavery and anti-slavery settlers fought over control of the territory. At the same time, abolitionist movements grew stronger in the North. Newspapers, books, and speeches exposed the brutality of slavery. Harriet Beecher Stowe's famous novel Uncle Tom's Cabin, published in 1852, stirred public opinion by portraying the human suffering caused by slavery. Activists like Frederick Douglass, a former slave-turned-powerful speaker, gave voice to the millions who had been silenced. The Underground Railroad helped enslaved people escape to freedom, further increasing tensions between North and South. Political conflict mirrored the social divide. The Democratic Party split between Northern and Southern factions, while a new political force emerged, the Republican Party, founded in the 1850s with the central goal of preventing the expansion of slavery into new territories. Although many Republicans were not outright abolitionists, Southerners feared that any limitation on slavery threatened their entire way of life. By the late 1850s, the nation seemed on the brink of collapse. The Supreme Court's infamous Dred Scott decision of 1857 declared that African Americans, enslaved or free, could not be citizens of the United States, and that Congress had no authority to prohibit slavery in the territories. This decision,